for sure.
Welcome back, everybody, to another Purpose Served podcast, man. I got a legend in the building. Very, very special
Yeah.
guest, man. My man, Mikal Settle owns Blaise Training. You can find your nutrition on there. You can find training on there from online, in-person workouts. He do individual workouts, uh, plans and all of that. And also he has apparel on his website that I'm going to be putting in a description below. And thank you for being a part of the podcast yet again, man. This is
Yes,
going
sir. You
on.
already know.
This is going on almost a year that we've known each other, man. And
Yeah.
I reached out to you about last year around this time, asking for some advice, and just hearing your background and your story through Reagan. And ever since then, man, you've been my guy, dog, for real.
No, for sure. And so, man, I appreciate you having me on again, man, because it's like time is everything. But I love being on the podcast, bro, and like giving people some sort of inspiration if I can, and like yeah, I'm excited. And to even dive into it, bro, like let me put this on side. To dive into it, bro, like you thought you had me think of something self-reflection that you was just talking about as far as like the last conversation. And so I feel like that's something that you have to review on a consistent basis. Is really self-reflect. And you told the story about self-reflecting. Okay, is this something I really want to do? And once you got to that point where you didn't have to question, you kind of knew back into it. But then even self-reflection for me, bro, like let's just say, for example, like I've been like, so was it about 2, 3 weeks ago going through some relationship stuff, right? And so when it ended, I had to reflect, okay, and to give you a little background on as far as like just in general, for the past 6, 7 years, I've had like relationship problems literally around the same time, bro. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. That's what I was like, what is going on in the universe, or what's going on? Like, what is God doing? Like, what is he trying to teach me? But in order for me to like, and I'll kind of speak on what I kind of learned, but on that situation right after, I was like, okay, first it definitely made me sad and stuff like that. But I was
Of
like,
course.
damn, like, yeah, I was like, what am I doing for this to happen every time the same, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
like
what
a
is going on?
cycle.
Like a cycle, like, bro, like it might even more than 6 years because it's back in high school. So I'm like, bro, what is going on? And so to me, I had to really self-reflect and I started meditating more. And it's crazy. You said something about meditating. I started really diving into like figuring out, okay, envisioning like my dreams and my goals, really diving into more who I am, but then learning from the situation. But a few of the things that I learned is, and I know we wasn't gonna be talking about. I know it's probably not the thing y'all thought we was gonna talk about relationships
Oh
because I
no,
never really post anything
the biggest
personal. But
the
anyways,
biggest thing for me, man, is just let it naturally ride out. You know what I mean? We supposed to be talking
no,
about
for
this
sure,
at this time. You know what I mean?
exactly. And so to give insight for especially for men, like one thing I was able to reflect on and learn is the first thing is, okay, I was one of the things problems I was having. I feel like is I was talking to multiple women to like kind of mask like me my insecurities on being cheated on back when I was in fucking when
So it's like a defense
was
mechanism.
this uh back when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like a defense mechanism. So like, okay, why am I having these certain issues around this certain time, or why am I doing this certain time? And so now that I'm like fast forward now that I'm like, okay, to this day, I'm more so like that's like that's first off is my defense mechanism, but that's not a fulfilling way to live life or go about things. And so ever since then, like well, a few weeks ago, whenever I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, now I really want to focus on who I am, but then also focus on giving one person proper and then seeing where it works from there instead of always trying to see the negative in it or see like, okay, maybe this is going to go wrong or stuff like that. I've been speaking more positive about
That's
my
funny because
section of life as far as
I still
relationships,
do
you
that
know?
to this day, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like playing out a relationship is just
Yeah.
like, where can this possibly go wrong and how can I prevent it? Or do I really want to take this situation further than it need to go? You know?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, like I realize me personally that it's turned into a huge issue where I'm starting to put my business in everything before everything else. And it's in a sense where
Yeah.
it feels like I'm trying to avoid it. Something to me feels like I'm trying to avoid relationships and being vulnerable and being personable.
Yeah.
And it's getting covered up in a way where it's like, well, you are doing what you're supposed to do. This is important,
Yeah.
still go
Mm-hmm.
after it. So that's something that,
Yeah.
I want to say, like, for me personally, that it's definitely been a challenge to look at it, from a different perspective.
100%. And the thing is, I feel like we learned it with society as far as men is like we learn that the more you have, the better off you are. And that's what most situations like relationships, like more girls you got, the better off you are. The more money you have, the better off you are. And to an extent, I can kind of understand like the abundance mindset for sure. You got to have an abundance mindset. But when it comes to certain things, is I was listening to somebody, a personal trainer, he was talking about how any highly super successful person, when they're on their purpose and they're really grinding, they don't have time to fucking entertain 6, 7 relationships or girls, 4 or 5 girls. You don't have time to be in 30 friendships. You don't got time to, there is no such thing as balance. If you really want to be great at something, you want to be elite, there's no time for the juggling of every situation. And so I really like myself lately. It's like, okay, however the situation goes, I'm fine with, and whatever what I'm saying, if it works out to the point that I feel like we should be in a relationship, that's fine. But also too is like, I'm not gonna be entertaining all of this drama. I don't have time for I don't have the energy for it. It's just too much. Especially you want to be great at something and really what I'm trying to do, I don't have time to throw in 4 or 5 girls a week to do this and that. I just don't have time. And I don't it's too much. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real. I find myself at this point, because I think that, from the girls that I have been talking to, and even my friends and even my family, a lot
Yeah.
of it is me saying that, I do apologize. I had to get this thing done or that, or I would simply won't respond. And it's not even
Yeah.
intentional and it's not even on purpose, but it's one of those things
You're on your
where,
purpose.
oh, there you go,
Bars.
serving it. Bars, bars. But it's to me, it's something that I realized a long, long time ago, especially when I was really, really down on my luck, that
Yeah.
I knew that I was willing to sacrifice any and everything for what it is that I'm trying to do and the life that, that I'm trying to
Yeah.
fulfill. And I would, in relationships, anything, you know what I mean, in order to go towards that. And it's something that you even say that because most people don't understand the great deal of sacrifice that automatically come with it, and
Yeah.
that's not a good feeling. and
It's not. It's
and people,
lonely.
it's very lonely, you know what I mean, and it's
It's
something
lonely.
for me. It feels like, I want to say, when I personally first started like hooping and nothing was working out, so we're talking 2015, and
Yeah.
around this time I literally just dropped out of college. you know I'm literally acting a fool, you know what I mean. And at the same time, my goal was to play basketball, but I got everybody around me, saying, just be an apprentice, go get a trade, and all of these things that I was highly considering. But at the same time, it felt as though people also didn't understand, you know, what I was trying to do and what I was going through
Yeah.
and the path that I accepted for
Hmm.
myself. So the more I kept pushing and things wasn't working, and just breaking the barrier of entry, and we're talking about sports, basketball as an adult. So
Yeah.
it's just
Hmm.
like, oh my God, did I really just accept this for my freaking life in reality? This is not
No,
the
facts.
smartest thing,
Yeah.
Daryl, and you
Hmm.
hear it all the time, um, hoop dreams, like, and that's something that personally affected me. Like just hearing that,
Yeah.
yeah, I was 25, 26, but man, it's over. You know what I mean? If you wasn't
Yeah.
da 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 this, da 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 that, but it taught me literally so much about literally how the universe works, but it just took me
Yeah.
thinking in so many different perspectives and understanding so many different things to piece it all together to make it make sense. And
Hmm.
it took me 2 years to get over that hump. And then once I
Yeah.
did, I still had incredibly bad habits that, that carried over from college that eventually led me to fall back with basketball where I was playing it, but lose the opportunities that I built up for myself. And now I'm finding
Yeah.
myself, just like what you just said, in the same cycle. But I realizing
Yeah.
that my priorities was like real bad. It's like one stretch I'm
Hmm.
committed, one stretch I'm really
Yeah.
not. I'm halfway, my heart halfway with it. But more than
Yeah.
not, it was with it. But
Hmm.
the only reason why I bring this up is to bring up something that we talked about earlier is
Hmm.
you going back to your school and
Yeah.
having your business put into your bookstore. Not only that, being able to talk about entrepreneurship and your fitness journey and all of that to your school as an alumni. And
Yeah.
that had to be one of those things where, you know, coming in as a freshman, and even after you graduated, like we talked about so many different things
Yeah.
that, shit that you had to like figure out and learn and develop
Yeah.
as a person and have this like this focus in some pretty, high pressure situations that you could easily fail in. Anybody could, but you did it. So that's something that, I would love for you to speak on.
Yeah, bro. So, and it's to me, it's like one of those things. It's like like I tell, like it's definitely history. Like to me, for it's definitely history. It's Black history, and like as much as I feel like we should have Black History Month is compressed, and then we don't. It's I don't agree with everything as far as like the whole how it's ran as far as Black History Month, but
I agree.
it's like to yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but it's like I love that it was like it was to me it was pretty symbolic as far as okay it's Black History Month, and then one thing that you brought to me too is it gives me some pride is like how young I am really striving for it, and then to me it's like being able to put myself out there to to get it done like because even when like we got the deal done and we decided okay we're going to do this after the meeting like they gave me like we had like a small time period to where I can get it done, you know, and then I had a I'm glad I prepared myself for beforehand. Like before the meeting, I was like, this
The
shit's gonna
brain's
happen. So I
probably
start
racing.
oh yeah, it's gonna yeah, I said this is gonna happen. So I already start putting orders in, setting it up like to where I already had everything planned out. It's like, okay, it's gonna happen. So I literally was putting in orders. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna make this happen for sure. So I put the orders in like a 4 or 5 days before the meeting, like making sure like,
Hey.
okay, by the time I need to get it done, I need to get it done. So everything was already put in motion. I wouldn't advise doing that for everybody, like just in case. But I was like, I was like, this is gonna happen, bro. I'm not like I'm speaking everything into existence. I'm being positive, and this is gonna happen. And to me, one of the craziest things about it, bro, is like not only like the full circle and how I thought my mission and my legacy at you and I would be different, but I these are things I wrote down to a year or two ago that I wanted to do. You know, I wrote it down like I wrote it down like I wish I would have pulled it up, but I don't want to pull it up and do all that. But like I wrote it down uh I was like, man, it's one of those things. Check the timestamps. Like, like I wrote that down. Like, this is something I want to do at UNI. And so for it to happen, it's like it just blows my mind. It's one of those things. It's definitely a blessing, like a super blessing, like to have the opportunity to do that. And it's going to open up avenues for different things. But to do it how I did it, and like, I really can't think of anybody else that did it like how I did it there. And so that gives me a lot of good energy. And like, it's literally, it's, you know what I'm saying? big deal, but it's like one of those things is like, okay, it's a big deal and I felt good when it happened. But it's like when everybody else found out, I already kind of celebrated myself. So I don't really like, you know what I
And
mean? I felt good about myself.
you on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Like now I'm like, I'm excited to see what I can get the next. Like, and that's the thing is I realized too, is it's not even about the getting stuff done. It's about like I love struggling through shit, bro. I don't know why, but it's like I love the struggle of what it brings. You know what I mean? Like I love
Word.
struggling to where I want to get to. You know, like I love the grind. Like I love the being up all night. I love the being on the corner 2 or 3 in the morning because I know nobody else is doing it too. Like I just know. Like maybe somewhere else, but I'm like, I know nobody's out here doing this too. Like to when people see me do it, bro, it's like they're like, wow, why are you out this late? We're out drunk as a mud. We're out super drunk, but you out trying to sell this or do that.
Oh yeah, some of the videos that I seen that you posted, you know, when you are selling, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You got the drunk college kids start coming by, you know what I mean, coming through the camera, start playing around. But
Yeah.
even with that, you know what I mean. You're not just like ha ha ha,
Mhm.
yeah yeah. You start talking to them, you start vibing with them, and now you got their
Yeah.
interest. Like, oh, all right. So
Yes.
what do you got going on over here? Oh, I like that. What's that over there?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Exactly.
that's the
Mhm.
hustler in you. But also
Yeah.
what you just said of loving the struggle, right? This is something that within the last couple of weeks that I came to the assumption of like this is what I truly believe. It's just that
Yeah.
you all living things like on this planet, they go through struggle. It's
Mhm.
not nothing
That's
here that
facts.
easily laid out. Existence, like to me, and this comes from I've been listening to some dude named George and Graham Hancock, and
Okay.
they study like architectures and stuff like that, and cataclysms on this planet from as far back as we can think of to see can we predict when the next natural disaster is going to happen, and or will we be able to stop it you know but it's something to
Mhm.
understand
That
that
sounds interesting.
it's very interesting, man. I get caught up in so many interesting things, but that's like I'm my mind just works like that. But it's 99% of all living things that ever was on the face of this earth has been wiped out, extinct, and that little small percentage is us literally right now, the living things that's right now, and to me that's freaking
Wow.
crazy. And how wild is that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing. So to me, it's very interesting to understand our mortality, but also what people try to do with their mortality without even really understanding what they're doing, and how our grandparents, our great grandparents keep passing down this information to keep trying to push us along, keep pushing us along in spite of every single struggle that they've been through. And when the one thing that makes me
Yeah.
really think about this is that last year around this time, I did this little two-part series called The Great Migration, because I wanted to learn
Okay.
about how did we really get here as a people, and how do we get to this point as a people
Yeah.
within the last couple hundred years, and that's not a long time, you know.
It's not.
And to understand that majority of us, came through that little port in South Carolina, and then not
Mhm.
only that, a couple hundred years later, we're literally everywhere, all across this country. And not even that, let's say the 50s and 60s, which is
Yeah.
not even, 70, 80 years ago, the position and predicament that we was in around this time, and the real life challenges that we were facing. And our ancestors and our predecessors that came before that, they kept passing down this
Yeah.
information. Don't look at this person. If you see these white people walk across the street, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? All of these different things. But then as time goes on, it puts us in this position, to
Yeah.
have you be able to have your stuff, at your school that you
Yeah.
graduated from, in your
Yeah.
bookstore. and you
Yeah.
own your own business, you have all of these things, but at the same time, there's an immense amount of pressure and there's an immense amount of struggle that automatically comes with that. It's like it's just this is how the universe works, and it
Yeah.
almost seems
100%.
like God is trying to test you and to see that you just can't make your way in this world by just thinking that you're gonna have this idea and just how it go. And God follows a pattern and a process that you have to follow that similar pattern and process to get what you want, which means that you gotta, in
Yeah.
spite of the struggle, you gotta have this discipline. You gotta have these skill sets that we talked about earlier. That if
Yeah.
you don't keep doing that, the world is ruthless when it comes to taking something that it
It's
feels like it
ruthless.
don't need and getting it
Yeah.
out of here without taking a second thought about it, you know. And I
Yes.
wanted to ask you,
Man, that's real.
how do you handle that, man? How do you handle that pressure and struggle, man? And not only that, like embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I want to share a quick thought too. So this is the thing. I love this. I heard this the other day is there's always going to be a sacrifice, no matter what, no matter what. It's either
Preach.
it's either the it's either you sacrificing the things to get to your dreams and goals, or your dreams and goals get sacrificed. And it's like, which one do you really want? It's
Word.
like I'm like, okay, let me sacrifice what I need to get to so I can get these dreams and goals and the aspirations and stuff like that I have. And then like to speak on like the pressure, it's like, man, it's like it's a combination of a lot of things, bro. Like it's definitely a lot of pressure I have, a lot of pressure, and I always try to stick to the positive and think about how grateful and how much I was able to handle up to this point. And so like to me, some of the pressures I have is like getting my family out of the struggle, making sure I provide opportunities for my friends and family to be great themselves, to be able to chase what they want, and and really produce something so I can pass on to the next generation to be proud of, but then also learn from my mistakes. And I feel like that's super important because there's a lot of people that's not willing to teach whether it's the person next to them or anybody to not only get to the point that they're at, but get surpass them because they have too much pride to see somebody doing better than them. And so it's like a combination of like, okay, I have the pressure of being in a family of 6 or 7, being an oldest, to one parent household, be the father figure for these kids, be the positive figure for your family. Because everybody in my family's always seen me as like, okay, he's the person that's going to be able to get us out of whatever situation we're in, or he's the one that's always going to do good, or he's the one, like the chosen one almost. And I
Yeah.
have the family of 40 or 50 people always seeing me as the chosen one. So that's a lot of pressure. But the way I deal with it is understand is like I'm built for this. Like there's a reason I'm the chosen one. Like there's a
Yeah.
reason I'm
Word.
here. There's a reason why I got through all this. You feel me? So it's like that's when I always embrace, like, okay, maybe this is what I'm made for. Like there's a reason why I'm here. And there's a reason why you're going through that. And that's the same thing for every individual.
Mm.
Reason why you've gone through what you're going through, because you're the only one who can handle it. Because anybody else going through it, they couldn't make it. That's why you're here. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we all got to feel with any situation or any circumstance. Okay, you're the reason why you're just put in this certain situation because you're the only one who will be able to handle it. So, like what they say, like heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like we all have crowns, but we got to be willing to carry it. Now everybody's willing to wear their crown proudly or stand through the fire, walk through the storm. Like you gotta be willing to go through it and understand, like, okay, I'm built for this. Like it might not feel comfortable now. I feel horrible. I might be depressed now, but tomorrow I'm gonna feel better than I did yesterday. And 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna be thriving and still doing my thing. So those are ways I kind of handle it. I have those pet talks with myself during my workouts, especially during my workouts. I get super amped up. I'll be like, man, you're the one. Like there's a reason you're here. Like, like you're the
That's
shit. Like I'll
yo.
be
That's
telling
kind of
myself
funny.
that all the time.
I was literally going to, and like that was going to lead up to one of the next things that I was going to ask you about is when you got this intense cell workout going on, right? And you feel
Yeah.
yourself, you're really physically and mentally at the brink. What's going on in your head?
Yes.
Like, what's going on in your head in those moments when you're like, I can
Yeah.
everything, I can give up right now, but I know I'm not.
Yeah.
What starts happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. So there's times I'll be like, man, fuck it, not stop. I'm not gonna lie. But like I tell people all the time is when I have those breakthroughs, it's like the best feeling ever because there's no better feeling. It's so like fulfilling. It's like an energy, and you just like you get when you get through something that you didn't think you can get through. Like and I'm not talking about where it gets hard at the be in the halfway through. I'm talking about right away is hard. It's a storm. It's boom. It's hard. And
Yeah,
that's the thing. I work out with you. Are you do you want to are you sure you want to work out with me or do you want to just start working out? Because it's a big difference. And that's why I like, I don't say that to people, but I kind of evaluate them like I kind of get a good sense sometimes, but I'm like, well, we'll see. I don't know if you really want to work out with me like that. You don't really because I want to go there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm the best shape of anybody, but I like to go there. I like to see people face failure and see what they do
yeah,
after that. And so like when I get to those points and what I'm thinking is like it's a combination of like, Merle, just quit. Why do you don't have to do this no more. You don't even play no more. Like, why are you working out this hard? And then it's a combination of like, cause you're made for this. Like this is you. Like you the best. You know what I'm saying?
that just got
Like
me
it's
hot.
like you talking to yourself. Yeah.
Chill.
Like you made for this. Like this why that's why you doing this. Like, you start really having those conversations with yourself. And when the other side really get through it, man, dog, it's the greatest feeling
Yeah,
in the world.
you go
Like
to a whole new
it's the
level.
greatest feeling, whole new level. And that's why I be like, bro, I know. And then like I do like working out with people new because it's like it gives them a good feel. It's like, okay, this is like the average of kind of what we're gonna be doing, like when we're working out together. Cause I'm not gonna bullshit the workout. I'm going hard. Like you're gonna have to pick it up. We're gonna feed off of each other. I'm gonna try to pump you up, but we're gonna both bring the fire. I don't want to go to the gym and have just be chilling, talking, texting. Hey, we
I
at the
hate
gym.
that.
That's
Oh, he said, "Hey,
man,
we at the
dog.
gym."
I don't want to. Oh, matter of fact, hold on. I think I got my shirt on now. Hold on.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, yeah. Represent, yo. Represent.
Hey, what is it? Less. Let me
Oh,
put the
yeah.
headphones on.
Less texting, more
Let's
flexing.
let's text some more flexing, bro. That's what you gotta do. Stop texting in the gym, bro.
Yo,
Like I
listen,
understand you can pick your
people,
song,
catch the
whatever, but
merch,
it's
catch the
like, bro,
apparel.
work out. Man, look, let's
Yeah, see,
text some
look at
more flex.
that
I got it
fire.
on today. Golly, bro. Bro, come on, like people, come on, y'all. Like we here to grind. Like I don't wanna do that. Like we could talk after. But and then too is like the best thing to me is like there's this hill workout I do for it's called King versus the Hill. And shout out to my queens too. We can call it Queens versus the Hill too. But we go to the hill and we do the workout, right? It's really simple. You do 5 light jogs, 5 back pedals, five lunges, and then 5 sprints up the hill. And so all the way up, 5 times of each. And
Yeah, it
so
sounds simple,
there's
but
literally, it sounds simple, but it's vicious. I'm not gonna lie. And so one thing I always tell one thing is that like in the beginning, you can kind of tell like we're talking a little bit. You can kind of tell when people it starts getting hard because it's quiet. All you hear is breathing. Ah, like trying to, people, what I'm saying, trying to grunt and trying to push through it.
yeah,
But at the end, the people who complete it, I promise you, bro, I love the feeling to see people complete it because it's like they be like, I tell them like, look, you didn't think you can do it, but now, like, how do you feel? Like they just feel amazing. Like you feel horrible, but you feel amazing, And it's like they're like, bro, this
what a
is like, I
juxtaposition, right?
feel great. Like I didn't think I would do it. Yes, bro. Like it's like a different type of feeling. So it's like they gotta understand, bro. It's like that's where I love listening to David Goggins for real.
Oh, that's
You hear
my
me there?
God.
Like cut out.
Who going to
Can you
carry the
still hear me?
boats? Who going to carry the logs? Come on now. That's the homie right there, yo.
No, for
Yo,
real.
his intensity is very, very scary because it shows
Yes.
you what you are really capable of. That's why it's like really scary.
Facts. It's
It,
scary, yeah, and that's facts.
you can't
Man,
hide
that's
for
what it's
something
so
like that.
because I'll be listening. You can't. And I was listening to him today, and it's like he every time I listen to him, he forces me to challenge myself. Like,
Yeah.
do you really want it? Like, do you really want it? Like, and I
He's
feel
asking you
that,
this
bro. Like, I
while
just
he's
get energy
going
from
for
that.
like
It's
a
like
40-mile run.
why he's doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while he's
while
doing
he's
it, he's
doing it,
asking
he's
you.
like, stay hard.
Stay hard.
Yeah. So it's like I love that, bro, because it's like that's where it is. Like you gotta embrace it, because like that's the thing is like sometimes I wish I can like put people in my mind or my body, like when I was going through, like when I was doing football, like doing the workouts, and I literally didn't know if it was gonna work out. That's bars. I literally didn't know if it was gonna work out. Literally didn't. Like I just did not know. But for me to, I had to go in such a deep mode, like really go deep in myself to really pull it out, and then for me to, and then that's why I like bringing people to work out and stuff like that, because I want them to get that same feeling of like when I finished it, like, or I was going through it and I knew I was working the hardest in there. I knew I was going the hardest. I knew I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I knew I didn't give up all the pain, all that, everything. Like that taught me so much. It taught me so much about how powerful your mind is, but also the only thing that matters if you're pulling that greatness out of you, you know?
No, you're absolutely right. You have to go to um oftentimes I wouldn't say it's a negative space, but it definitely is a dark place because you go
Dark
you,
place.
you go through you go through these I would want to say these subconscious, well, conscious then subconscious layers of yourself that's showing you a limited version of yourself. And it's
Yes.
so right in front of your face, yo, where it's just like, you want to bust out 5 more reps. But during those 5, you going through those different layers of yourself that's going to give you every reason under the sun why you can't do it. And not only that, why it would be a really good reason to stop. And they're really good reasons. They're always really good reasons. You know what I'm
Real
saying?
good reason. Yeah, always. It
Always.
always makes sense. It always makes sense. Like, you know what? You do got something to do at 10 o'clock and it's 5 o'clock. You do need time to rest. Like, oh, you got all this time. Like
Yeah,
it
for
all
real.
makes sense. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. But you have to be willing to face it on occasion often to really push yourself. Like that's what I told the kid today that I was training. I told him like every time I start running that hill every year again, I really realize where I'm at in life mentally.
Mm.
I get to realize, okay, where am I at mentally? When I get to halfway through and I'm broken, I know like, okay, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. You're not where you thought you was, or you're not who you thought you was. Let's
That
just face the facts. You know what I'm
getting
saying? Like
getting past
it's
that
it's
point to
no
where you
hiding. It's no
normally
hiding.
get to that point where you once you get past that, you recognize the give yourself that reality check. From that point to the very next point, I would say, mentally is like it's so freaking bad. It's so freaking
It
bad
is.
because you beat yourself up a
It
lot.
is.
You know what I mean? And those would be the points where you put so
Yes, you
much pressure
do.
on yourself, where it's just like when I show up to that hill, I know you be thinking when I show up to
So
that hill
much
again,
pressure.
this hill is gonna be my hole by the time I'm done with it.
It's real. No, for real, bro. It gets so much smaller, and I don't know. It might be messed up, but I love seeing people go through it too. Like it's weird. I don't know. It might be weird, but I love seeing people face it for the first time, and I'm like,
Yeah,
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 motherfucker. I
got you.
told you. Now you get to
Got you.
see. Now you get to face who you are.
Yeah.
Now you get to see who you are. Like, and then like, and so one of the most fulfilling moments I got to see, like, so shout out to these 3 people, right? So his name's Gore. Michael, and Kanaj. Shout out to them three.
Shout out
But
to y'all.
so me, yeah, shout out to them. And so we did the hill together, right? And so like there's phases I go through mentally, like especially when we're like, cause we're training, I'm training them, but I'm working through it with them, but I'm talking to them the whole time, like, yeah, bro, you got it. Like, it's almost keep going. Like, and I tell everybody, this the thing is I never make anybody feel bad for being at their own pace, because each time is going to be different. Your body's going to be feeling different. You probably got less sleep. You didn't eat right, maybe. You're going to be feeling different. And so there's a point in that workout to where every one of us hit that stage to where we was just leveling up. And it was Michael's first time doing the hill with us. Cause me, Gore, and Kanai's been doing it for a while. And
Right.
so they've been doing it for a couple months already, but it's Michael's first time. But we was just talking to each other, like we was getting through it. And you could tell Michael hit that stage. He was like, fuck, I can't do this shit. But we kept speaking to him. Like I kept speaking to him, and then he just started eating the hill.
Oh,
Ugh,
you brought the
he's
you
getting
brought
it.
the
He's
dog out of
grinding.
him.
Yeah. He started getting it. He's killing it. And then Gore, I could tell there's a spot where because the back pedals is probably the most vicious part. Vicious. But
I know to tear
Gore,
them hammies up.
He was, oh man. And he's like a tall, skinny African dude. So he doesn't have like thick thighs or nothing like that. So
Oh,
he's
so
like,
he feeling it.
them hammy, his legs is just feeling it. But I was like, Gore, I said, keep going, bro. You got it. And he just hit this switch, dog. Like he just turned into an animal. I'm like, dog, he's killing it. Like he's killing me in it. I'm like, bro, he's killing it. And I'm hyped too. I'm like, let's go, Gore. And like we all sat down. When we all finally finished, we sat down. I was like, and I was talking to each of them. And even Kanaj, he got a point to where he was feeling it and he just started eating it. And so we sat down and we just all felt like we just knew like it was a different energy. And we just all felt it like this was one of those moments. And I told each and one of them, like, because I can see it, like you can see it in their minds, because especially when you've been through it, you can read their mind where they're broken,
Unlocked it.
but they push through it. Yes. And I pointed out each moment that they felt that they was like broken, but they fought through it. And so when they did, like they just knew like this was different. Like I can do more than what I thought. And so those were one of those moments to where like they face who they were and they beat it, you know?
But that's
They beat those demons, so to
why I
speak.
think that, I know a lot of personal trainers, man. I got a couple of friends that's personal trainers, but something about you is just that you have a connection, you know what I mean, with, not only the people that, that you're training or working out with, but a natural connection to like the universe and a vibe around you to even know and
Yeah.
sense those things and to really bring that out of people. That's essentially your job. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
if you can't do that, you're in the wrong business. You know what I mean? And even with you
Yes.
telling that
Facts.
story, I know for a fact the people that's listening, I know that just got them hyped. That just got me hyped. You know what I mean? I feel like I gotta go hit a hill after this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dog. Like, man, I'm excited. Like, oh man, I'm ready to work. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling seeing people like break through the barriers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people I see, like whether it's famous or people I don't know, like just they make reach a level, they level up. I'm like, yes, I'm rooting for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for you. You know, it's good. It's just good vibes. And then one thing too is I learned is the more you love yourself, is the less you're gonna project hate on other people. You know, and so I had to start really loving myself even more. It's like, okay, now I'm not producing this negative energy in this way, and my life is just feeling way better as far as energy around me. Because for the most part, I've been positive to an extent, but it's hella times I've been negative, you know? And so I always try to push okay, what can I learn from the situation? Okay, let me push something positive. I don't want to project my negative day or my negative energy on this certain person, because it's not fair for them, because the negative energy people put on you is literally a reflection of what's inside of them, you know?
Absolutely,
And
man.
so it's like, man,
Energies is big, man. And it's something that you say that because that's something that, you know, I want to say social media is challenging me with. I'm first off, I'm
yeah,
really, really bad at just being on there consistently. That's something that I'm working on currently, right now, because like I'm big
hmm
on that. I don't want to
yeah,
constantly be consuming too many energies that's outside the typical source where I get energy from. You know
yes,
what I mean? Like,
yes,
anything such as like outside yourself and things start to like I'm going
hmm
down the toxic rabbit hole, then it's just like,
yes.
get out of here,
It can eat
man.
you up, man.
I
It can
do.
eat you up, and that's one thing I try to try to I try to disconnect from that too. And I've been having trouble too. Is like, okay, how can I figure out a way? Because social media, as far as posting and bringing in clients and stuff like that, that's like the main way I get clients. And so I've been trying to like figure out, okay, what's a way I can disconnect from like the world, but then also do what I still got to do to live. You know what I mean? Make
Oh
some
yeah,
money. But
that's
it's
a
like
challenge.
it's a challenge, and so like that's one thing that I'm like maybe in the future whenever I create a business, maybe I'm gonna have a business that doesn't have to include me being on social media
Oh man,
as
like
much.
when
We'll see.
when I first started Purpose Serve, there was two things that I was avoiding, and thanks a lot to one of my closest friends, Steve, who honestly helped me get this far. Who told me the idea to start a podcast and even created my logo for me. But the one thing that he knew was I was a person that didn't post at all on Instagram, camera shy, didn't like being in front of the camera. I played the scene, I'm low key, you know.
hmm
So for me, when he was like, "Yo, you got to do that," it was one of those things where it's just like, "Oh, I don't want to do it," but
Yeah.
I'm going in that direction. And not only that, even to this
hmm
day, putting up certain posts, I know that the posts that I do be putting up, it's not cool. Nobody don't find it like this is not entertaining. You know what I mean? But
hmm
it's something with me. It always keeps challenging me to stay true to myself more than anything in the world. Always stay
Yeah.
true to who I am. Don't try to conform if because you want to get more likes, you want to do this. This is something that like I challenge
Yeah.
myself with, but just simply, what message that you're trying to put out there, constantly put the message out there. And just
Yeah.
if the first mission was if it touches at least one person, you did your job,
You
and
did
that's
your
something
job.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to keep reminding myself to this day, just
hmm
literally just make people do things like literally what you're doing is to go outside of their norm to go after something that they truly care about. And day by day, keep
Yeah.
doing that. And you're going to experience
Yes.
them tough times. It's going to happen. You're going to have to dig deep in certain moments to pull that out of you because, something that I said not too long ago was just that, you know, it seemed like the God literally he don't make room for the unprepared, like those are like
The
the first things to
facts.
go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that's facts. Yeah, that's fact.
it's an analogy that I thought of like on the spot. This is like the other day while I'm sitting here, talking to the camera, recording the podcast. But I thought about literally music. And I'm thinking about, what if, somebody like, Lil Baby just went on stage at a concert and he decided to just do a song that he just literally just thought of on the spot, right then and there, without talking to the sound engineer, without none of that. He just starts going off.
Mhm.
It's going to be
Yeah.
like, yo, this
The
dude's
fuck?
tweaking. Yo, he's off the moon rocks. But
Mhm.
but it's like you have to, in a sense, and I noticed that with life in so many different aspects, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared.
Yes.
You have to, like you said, it's to me, it's like a process to everything. You have to really know the process
Yes.
in order for you to go through it. And I like that you said earlier when you go about training somebody that's like, just trying to get in shape and stuff like that, rather than, somebody that's playing like, to train to do something competitively. It's two different aspects that you got to go about it. Like And people that do have a competitive aspect, they don't understand that they don't have the edge that they think they had, but they need. You know, they kind of got the
Yes.
edge as somebody that's just trying to get in shape and work out and thinking that that's going to
Yeah.
fly. You know what I mean? And
No,
it's
it's
like,
not. And it's crazy, bro, because you say that because I told bro, I was like, look, dog, like, you get, I see that was your girlfriend, right? That came in the gym last time with you, right? He's like, oh, yeah, that was my girl. That was my girl. I was like, you can't. I said, unless you in here getting it and she's in, you know what I'm saying? She's out here, hey, let's get it. Boom, boom. She can't be here, bro, while you don't want to be going to the gym with your girl. You
that's
know what I'm saying?
bad.
Unless your girl is like, unless your girl is with it too, and she's one of those, because there's some women out here that's with it. Man, shout out to Queen Jazz, Fitness Queen Jazz. She's in she's one of the ambassadors now too.
Oh,
Her
all
and her
right. Yeah,
man,
I followed her
I think his name's
actually. Yeah,
John. Yeah, yeah, bruh. They see that's different. They with it. You know what I'm saying?
they get
They
after it.
with it. You know, there's a lot of people they get after it. But these other people, man, they be going to do the couple gyms and whatever. You could be whatever you trying to do fitness wise is fine. But they just be in there. I see it all the time, every day. They be in the gym, they go to the gym. Oh, they don't really be doing much. They're talking. They, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Going through the
no. If
motions.
you wanna you yeah, going through the motions, but unless you got a girl that's on that same type of time where she's telling you, let's get it, there's no way you should be in the gym working out with your as a couple. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially if you're trying to compete or trying to be great at something. That's what I told him. Like, bro, you gotta be with it, dog, for real. Like, focus, and he's young though, so
Nah,
I
that's a fact.
understand, but had to tell him straight
It's
up.
it's crazy, right? And this is something that I recently just switched my brain towards, you know, because I did not know the difference between competition and compassion. I didn't know I didn't know about that switch. And around
Mm-hmm.
last year, when I was around the time I was finishing up the season with the Delaware Snipers, I had a really, really
Okay.
tough season. Barely played all of these things that went into it. But another thing was at the first time, this is like the first signs where my competitive edge was slipping away, you know, because I started
Mm-hmm.
thinking about other people outside of myself and not necessarily, you know, I'm going here to take everything out that's in my way. You know what I mean? Which is typically, you know, that's how
Yeah.
you got to go into a competitive, you know, scene.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
when around that time, it was just like, you know, how can I, you know, collectively, you know, keep the team together, do all of these things when in that regard, it did not matter. You know what I mean? And that was something that
Mm-hmm.
as of recently that I realized that there's a time and a place for it. And when you are tapped into the competitive, you know, mindset, it's like it's a very, very beautiful thing, man. Because
Yes. Oh, it is.
you you accept your limitations, you know where your weaknesses are at if you are like, you know, really, really tapped in. You know what I mean? But at the same
Yes.
time, it's not a hindrance to you. You know, you either
Yeah.
gonna work on it or you're gonna try to hide it. But if you're really, really competitive, you're gonna work on whatever weaknesses that you have, which is like something. And I feel as though that's really a lonely road. You know what I mean? When you like real
Yes.
tapped in competitively, because you will literally tune everything that you feel as though is a distraction out to get better at whatever quest that you're on. You know what I mean? And you see it all the time in sports. But the older people get, then they're
Mm-hmm.
not where they think they are in that moment. You know, they lose that
Yeah.
competitive edge. And not only that, it just seemed like they lose their fight for life. You know what I mean? And that's
Yes.
when,
100%.
yeah, they start to settle, you know, and
Yeah. Never settle.
never settle, you know. So what advice do you got for people like that, where it's just not, things is not swaying their way and they're starting to lose that competitive edge? You know, how do you,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So one thing I just to respond to what you said at first is there's this one dude, and I hear this all the time. And shout out to Jeremiah Wright. He's one of the first people to let me get in this gym and start doing training. Right, super dope dude, super dope. But he was like, the people with no vision will always perish. And now I think that was like quoted from the Bible or something like that. I know it's in the Bible, but it's like when you don't have a vision, you don't. You can kind of tell too, bro. When you talk to people who's like doesn't have a vision for themselves or don't really like don't believe anything, don't have no core values, you can tell just how they talk, how they speak and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, and one thing I always tell people is you got to try new things, bro. Don't be afraid to try nothing new. Like I didn't when I first started school, bro. I could have never told you that I was gonna probably be a personal trainer. I'd still work with kids, I'd probably shoot, I'd have probably said I would have never. I thought I was going to the league in 2 years. I'd have never thought I would have graduated school. But it's like you, and then for me too, is I always told myself I wanted to travel since I was young. But to travel, I traveled the world. Like, I was a teacher pretty much. Like, but is people wonder why they never grow, or they wonder why they don't have no vision, or they don't have no passion or nothing like that, but they still doing the same thing all the time. Hasn't changed one thing. But it's like, how are you supposed to find out if you were supposed to be the best musician of all time? How are you supposed to
Mm.
find out if you were supposed to play piano? How are you supposed to find out that you're supposed to create an iPhone, whatever the case is, if you never gave yourself a chance to even try it? Because I guarantee some of the best of anything you can think of never got to achieve it because they never gave themselves a chance. Like even like Les Brown, right?
Of course, man. I got one of his books
Yeah.
up there in my closet.
Nah, bro, heavy. That dude's been changing. I've been listening to him for the past few weeks, and it's been changing my life already.
Started out as a
Energy's on 10.
disc jockey and changed his whole entire life, man. Incredible journey,
Whole
man.
life. Incredible journey.
Crazy.
But then I know you probably heard of him say this before too. He was like, he's one of the best motivational speakers of all time. But he didn't do it for 10 to 15 years because he didn't
Yep.
believe he could do it, or
Yep.
he didn't give himself a chance. People won't even give themselves a chance to they don't even give them chances themselves a chance to fail before they give up on themselves. Like, at least find out. You never know, you might like it. So try it. Like, who cares? Like,
It's
and people
crazy to
think they
me.
worry about what other people say.
And that is huge what you just said. That is freaking huge. And not only that, people just have this
Mhm.
freaking this mindset that if they do try it, it's not going to work out for them. So what is the
Man,
point? And it's just like
what's
the cliche thing is just that you have a 0% chance of ever getting it done. So what are you really afraid of?
yes.
You're experiencing that
Hmm.
right now by not doing nothing. You already know what that's like. So why are you not going to do it?
Bro,
Why?
man, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Like, forget it. Why not? Why not? Like, like, okay, if it didn't work out, at least you tried. Like, that's one thing is like I as much as I'm afraid of failure, but I've never been afraid. I'm not allowing for fear to like hold me back. Like, when I tell you I went up to for me to even get on the team, right? Bro, I've literally had to go up to the coaching office 30 to 40 fucking times, bro. Over my span for me to even get on the team. Like, it was so
Like, yeah,
bad. He just was like, bro,
I really want you to
ah,
talk about this right now. I really, because this is,
okay.
I would want to say, like, from the outside looking in, this is an extremely defining moment for your life of you breaking through a
Yeah.
barrier. You know what I mean? That most people literally
Hmm.
can't, but try. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
please, man.
So yeah, so to even break it down, right? So when I first got even a little before, like, there was this coach that was there. He was coaching there, and he was like, I had a he was recruiting me to go there, right? And so it wasn't like heavy recruitment, not a scholarship or nothing like that, not even a preferred walk on. He was interested. He thought I was a great athlete, whatever. And so he ended up leaving schools and coaching at a high school back in Ankeny, which is like the suburb of Des Moines where I'm from. And so he ended up coaching there. But then, so I didn't really have no good connections and coaches didn't really know me, whatever. So when I first got to campus, me playing in that freshman season wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? They was already in camp. The games are supposed to start soon and everything. So that wasn't happening. So automatically, my dreams of freshman starting crushed right off back. So I'm like, damn,
Oh.
this is bullshit. And so, you know what I'm saying? I got on campus and I'm just like, okay, you know what? Next year is going to be my time, whatever. And so when I initially got there was this fear of like, okay, I should go up there and talk to him. I should go up there and talk to him. And so I finally went up there and talked to him after a week or so. Then the freshmen, no, the walk-on tryouts and all that type of stuff is going on. And so I did that. No, he told me about that. He was like, it's going to be here this time, whatever. So then I did good and I ended up getting on, right? And so then I was on the team for 2 days, right? This is my freshman year. I was on the team for 2 days. Then they're like, hey, you didn't pass the NCAA clearinghouse. You didn't get cleared, so you can't play. Done for, I couldn't play, I couldn't come back on. I was done. I'm like, what the fuck? And
No.
so then I'm like, bro, this is bogus. Like, so I couldn't be on the team then. So then I was done off that freshman year. This is my freshman year. So then came back spring freshman year. I'm like, dog, let me try to get on. I keep going to the coaching office. He keeps pushing me off. He's either not there or nothing like that. But y'all, when I tell you, every time I had this feeling in my stomach where it just was like, no, don't do it. Like each step I took up the stairs, it was just like, no, you're gonna look stupid. Don't do it. He's gonna say no. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, oh, I don't got time to talk this time. Come back this time, bro. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And so then I end up getting on for the summer. And so the whole summer, bro, he finally let me on because he's like, bruh, no, actually, what was it? Spring ball. So I get on during spring ball, and he's like, he finally lets me on. He's like, look, bro, I'm tired of you coming in here asking me. Just and he told the other coach, go get him his stuff, bro. Like, get him a helmet, get him his shoulder pads. I'm tired of this dude coming in here. And I was like, and at that point, I was okay with and the feeling was horrible because I'm like, damn, I gotta keep doing this, but it's like I really wanted it. So then finally get on, I'm doing it, and everything's going good. Spring ball happens, and so then the beginning of before summer camp comes, like I have a meeting with I forgot who it was. I think it was a head coach. No, I had a meeting with the receivers coach, and he's like telling me, he's like, look, you're doing. He said you gotta. He said the things is just learning the plays, and then really is just developing. Just keep developing your route running. Because I'm originally a quarterback, not no damn receiver. And so it's like it was a big transition for me. And so, but then on top of that, bro, is like you got to understand people is when you're an underdog and nobody really believes you have to make things happen for yourself. So not let alone, thank God I was a quarterback in high school. I was able to process the plays a little faster. But when I would try to set up these meetings with the coaches, they wouldn't do it. He wouldn't want to sit down and be like, okay, here's these plays. This is from a receiver standpoint. Granted, he probably just didn't have time because he had all these other kids, but he wasn't trying to give me a chance. He wasn't going to sit down and tell me. So I had to teach myself the signals and practice on my own, write everything down to really learn them and hold them in. And so I had to do that on my own. But then on top of that, I had a meeting with uh, Coach Farley, which is like the head coach. He's like, he sits me down. He's like, look, we only got 99 slots for the football team. So as of right now, you're probably not going to be on the camp, but going to fall camp, but you can still stay here and work out. And mind you, bro, I invested everything. I went all in. I got my lease for the summer as far as on campus to stay. Took out a little loan so I could stay on campus and have food. But then got a little job, a little side job. But this is wild doing 2 days during the summer. And so I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn,
Oh
I'm more than
my
likely I'm not gonna be on the
God.
team by fall camp goes. Yes, bro, it's crazy. So more than likely I was gonna be on fall camp, but this whole time I went to all the summer workouts, everything like that. So then, bro, I got this anxiety in my head, but I'm like, I gotta make sure I show everybody that I'm not playing. And so I was working to be first in everything working hard, lifting everything. I got super swole, got fast, everything. Fast forward, those are the times that I learned the most about lifting and the importance of phases during everything. That's where I learned everything as far as working out. And so at that time too, I got really close with the strength and conditioning coach. And he don't know, but I was learning, I was a sponge. Whenever he was talking about this and that, I was learning, I was soaking it all in. But now I know now because I'm using it now, but it was a blessing in disguise, right? But that's another lesson. But anyways, by the end of that summer, they told me that, look, yeah, we don't have no slots for you. You're done. You got to wait till next year. So then I'm like, fuck. Like,
Here we
so
go
mind you,
again.
yeah, here we go again. So then I go through that process again, did the same thing, keep hounding him. He's like, all right, come back. And because he already knows me now, he's like, I'll come back in so and so in the spring and we'll figure everything out. And so then in my mind, I'm like, damn, this shit's tough. And so by this time though, I went hard, bro. This fall, like the fall leading into the winter conditioning part, which is between summer camp and winter conditioning, is literally the hardest part of anything. Even harder than the season, just because of, excuse me, how much time and stress and what you're doing. You're waking up 4 in the morning doing running, and then you got to get up in the afternoon. You got to do the workouts, 2 or 3 hour workouts, and then you're doing stuff on your own. You got rehab, and then me personally, I had to work 30 hours a week because I wasn't on scholarship. You feel me? So then I gotta
Oh my
do all
God.
that, and then you got school, bro. And so it's crazy, dog. Like, so then the spring comes up. I'm going through, get through winter conditioning. Shit was vicious though. But this whole time, bro, my body's breaking down for real. And then, so during winter time is like, I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm trying to go for quarterback. So the whole time I'm doing quarterback workouts, doing quarterback meetings. Spring ball comes. He's like, no, you're going to go to receivers, whatever. Right. And so during this time, I was like, bro, this is just, it was heavy
It's a
on me.
lot.
Right. And so I said a lot. So then during the middle of spring ball, I'm like, there's one of those days like this is where I got broken. No, this is where I was broken. And so we spring ball, bro. When I tell you it was so fucking cold outside, dog. We had spring practice and it was so cold. And so during this time, my shins was like super painful, right? My shins just was like hard to walk anywhere, everything. So my shins was cold. My shins, I could hardly run like at all. He's like, why are you running to hurt? Like you're hurt. What's going on? You need to do this and that. And so during that practice, I didn't have a good practice. I'm like, bro, I can't. Like, I
I
was just in
can
my head. I'm
only
like, bro, this shit's just
imagine the
too much.
frustration, man. Oh
Yes, the
my
frustration,
God.
man, so high, so high. So then I was like, bro, like I was up all night and I called my uncle. Shout out to my uncle I. And so I was calling my uncle. I was like, bro, I just can't do this no more. And that's when I was just broken. Like and I tell you, after that, I went to the coaching office and I told him like, look, I can't do this no more. And he's just like, okay, bring your helmet, whatever. Just went about his life. Then I went about mine. But that's probably my lowest point I ever felt like just in life. Cause I'm like all this culmination of all the work because I went through the hardest part of everything and I still didn't get a chance. So I was like, everything was just, I was just broken. But fast forward to finding my purpose and figuring everything out. My shout out to my bro Malik. He's in here right now. He's in the other room. Shout out to him. I sit down with him talking. It was like talking to him about stuff because he has a similar story with basketball and some of his shit's even worse than mine. It's crazy. But sitting down talking to him about things, he was telling me I need to start doing the workout stuff. Talking to my bro Tyler, he was like, "Yeah, bro, just send me some workouts to do." But culmination of all that, that's the story that I had to go through, which has built me into the person I am. Is first off, if I do fail or if I am broken, that's just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep going, but there's always learning lessons and everything. Because it's a blessing that I went through the winter condition and I went through this summer training and everything because I literally was able to experience, I like literally like to me, it's almost like an internship within how it's going to be as far as what you need, as far as the physical part, the mental part, and everything. Being able to understand working out, really face it, really face the workouts. Because there's a lot of people I know that has 30 certifications, train this and that, but they've never actually pushed themselves to the point of like where I was at. You know what I'm saying? I just know they've never been to that point to where you get broken and then you're here because you know the difference between people that do it, you know. And so it's always like I'm glad I got to experience that because I'm able to see the light in that. And so now fast forward with the you and I bookstore stuff is crazy, bro. You know, I know that was a long story, y'all, but
Oh, no,
it's
no, no, no,
crazy.
no. It's crazy because it's a similar story has been told like that. I want to say in like 3 or 4 different like occasions. Shout out to Gerald if you're watching this, man. He's also a personal trainer too, who went through a
Shout out to
similar
Gerald.
experience that you went through as well, with him
Hmm.
walking on for his school and college and going through the same
Yeah,
process of literally busting his ass
it's
and going
crazy.
through the ringer. You know what I mean? And it's
I'm gonna have to
something.
tap in with bro then for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm dead serious. Crazy enough, 3 days ago, I was at the gym. I just walked in and I was talking to him, talking to him about you. And I was like, yo, man, like I was like, I gotta connect y'all two, you know what I mean? Cause I'm like, yo, you gotta tap into him, man. You gotta tap in. So yeah, man,
Hmm.
I'm trying to show the love out here in Jersey for you, dog.
Hey man, that's love, dog. Hey, I'm gonna tap in with bro for sure.
But it was one of those things where, like, uh the a very, very, very similar feeling that I had, like dead serious to yours, is I was probably like a week and a half in when I was in Girona, when I was in Spain. Never played on that level before, never played on that magnitude. But before that point, of course, I was just super hyped. Oh yeah, overseas, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Hey, that's an accomplishment though, bro. That is like for real. Professional ball overseas, that's crazy.
it taught me something, man. I had a couple of quick reality checks. The one of the very first ones was, it was on a Monday, the very, very first practice that I had. We had 2 a days. So the first practice from 8 to 10, and then from 12 to 2. So I go in there
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock. First thing in the morning, we're doing planks. And I'm
Yeah.
wasn't a
I
weight
remember
room
you told me
person.
about this one.
Yeah, man. So I was struggling, struggling. But I want to say, fast forward, like that 5th day that I was there, I remember calling my mom and talking to her, and I was like, I think I made a huge mistake with this. You know, I don't know if I made the right decision by coming here. You know, and I was like
Mhm.
really dead serious because I'm having real bad practices. I don't know the plays. I don't really know nothing about sets and situationals. I'm so used to just playing pickup in men's league, and I didn't play in high school and college. So it just felt
Yeah.
like I was really in over my head, and I had this one instance in practice where the coach kicked the ball at my head because I come down the court, I'm dribbling on the right side, and then I'm still dribbling, and I end up on the left side, just dribbling, dribbling, dribbling. Blew the whistle, and he wanted the ball. As soon as I passed it to him, he kicked it straight at my head. So I'm just like,
The fuck?
yeah, like, yo, what in the
Man,
world?
that's
And my coach
crazy.
was like this
Yeah,
six eight
he tweaking.
Serbian dude, swole, chiseled
Hmm.
dude. You know what I mean? But he helped me realize something. And he was like, you do a lot of pointless stuff. 3 dribbles or 3 seconds. If you can't create an advantage, pass the ball. And it was something so simple that it took me
Mm.
it took me literally pretty much like my whole entire experience over there to really understand what he was saying. I would keep that in mind and know that those are my perimeters, you know what I mean? Parameters. But at the same time, the more I went on, I started noticing like those uncomfortable situations made me do what you did, where I'm literally, and I still had this notebook, I'm drawing the plays. I'm trying to figure out what all of the 5 people and even the defense, how they're going to be set up, and going through these things
Hmm.
in my head. And at first, it's not
Yes.
making any sense to me. It's so frustrating looking at him like, oh my God, who goes where again? Like what's going
Yes.
on? And then next morning, knowing I had to wake up and go through this frustrating thing all over again. But the one thing I told myself was like, I'm going to be the first person at practice, no matter what. I don't care.
Hmm.
That's just the thing. And over time, so many situations where it feels like, even to this day, even outside of basketball, that shows me that when you first do things and it's new to you, especially if you really care about it, it's a lot of things that
Yeah.
happens. And it's just like a kid learning how to ride a bike without training wheels. You know, it sucks at first and it's
Yeah.
painful, but over time, you're gonna be popping willies, you know what I mean? And forget that you was falling off
Mm-hmm.
this bike, you know. So it's just something that
Facts.
you
That's facts.
you took all of those things, man, and those crazy experiences, and now you get to show people in a way where they can grow as well in those same kind of contexts, but they don't even have to be even that extreme. But not only that, it can also
Mm-hmm.
show people that they can push for things even outside of their fitness journeys, which is something that you also are showing people as well,
Yeah.
man, which is like it's a huge thing, man, especially nowadays. I feel as though people don't understand that they need it, but they need it now more than ever, man, for real. It's like a
Yes.
real
That's
need.
facts. Mm-hmm. That's facts, man. And the thing is, too, is the key is the mental side, bro. That's why I always try to tell people it's a mental game. Like the physical, the training, it's okay, yeah. But you gotta be there tapped in mentally. And I could tell, like, and it bothers me so much when I be in the gym and I see people aren't tapped in mentally. Like, and obviously I don't have those days every day where I'm with it all the time, ready to go. But it's like to see people wasting their time just chilling, not going hard. That just really gets to me sometimes. And I'm like, it's a mental game. Tap in mentally to change the whole dynamic of your workout. And that's advice for anybody too. So if your workout's not as hard and you're taking 3 to 4 minutes during a break, just try it for one workout, try to do 30 to 45 seconds between breaks, right? I know you might be powerlifting, whatever the case is. Take those 30, 45 seconds between each set. I guarantee it changes everything
And that's something, right?
because your mindset, your intent, you're ready to go. You're back to back, ready to go. Yep,
It, it
it is.
it's a intensity, you know what I mean? And it's just something that, and I know
Mm-hmm.
for those days when you go in there and you are feeling like that, I know for a fact if you had the energy and effort, you would apply it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it
Yeah.
really just
Mm-hmm.
not there. But
I'm,
the fact,
I'm still listening. I'm gonna plug my computer up.
oh yeah, got you. But the fact that you are still tapped in to even go to the gym and show up in the first place, that's a huge deal, man. Even when you don't
Huge
have
deal.
the
Yeah.
energy like that.
Yeah. And that's where you find out about yourself the most though. Like that's the thing is like let's just say like yeah, like for example, like when I first got on that team that first time for those 2 days on my freshman year, like when I got on, I was like, yeah, this is it. Like I'm here now. Yeah, this is it. But it just started. That was just the beginning, you know? And it was literally just the beginning. And now being able to reflect on that, now I understand because when I got into the work, I was like, this shit's vicious. Like, this is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah,
is hard.
word.
But this is hard. But my point is like when you get to the gym on your hard days, know that that's just the beginning. And for me, when I tell myself, oh, this is just the beginning, I'm gonna have a great workout today. I'm here now. And I put that work in, I'm like, damn, like those are some of my best workouts, even though they're hard, but those are some of my best workouts. And I'm like, bro, like I really did it. Like for real. I really did it.
It's crazy. I I really do personally believe everybody's capable of tapping into that, and people are scared of tapping into that. But this is personally my goal, right? I feel as though the more that
It's so
which is
scary.
so many people are all like they're trying to do it, you know what I mean? They're trying to get people to tap into it, and it is scary, but we can live in a far, far better world with far better, tools, resources, technology, and innovation simply from,
Mm-hmm.
a decent amount of people pushing themselves at whatever it is that they're trying to do. Because
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's something with that, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
starting to realize like it feels like this purpose serves thing is like an experiment, you know, because
Yeah.
like all the people that if I did not start, I would have never met. But also, if I wouldn't have never had these interactions like these, I don't know where my inspiration and motivation would be, because it's just like it adds fuel to my fire to keep doing what I'm doing. But that's how I know it works, because
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm a I'm a recipient of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm a
Yeah.
part of that
Mhm.
process that's like furthering
Yeah.
along. So that's why I say, when I see you getting after it,
Mhm.
and not only that, you doing the same thing for other people outside of myself, that's a huge deal. And it makes the world, to me, like a better place, and is underrated, and people
Yeah.
don't take it as serious as they really, really should be. You know, I can't be extreme in that regard, but I'm okay with that, because I know at the end of the day, you know, I'm not doing this for no glory, or, you know, no fame
Yeah.
or anything. It's literally
Mhm.
to like to help the community around me, the society around me, and
Yeah.
I'm naturally
Mhm.
connected to people who literally do the same exact thing. Man, it's a great thing, but it's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
S- And that is going to
No.
be
Yeah. No, that's facts. And I love that, bro.
what was that? My bad.
I said my bad. I was gonna say that's where you get these great podcasts and great conversations from, bro.
And this is what I was going to say, is like that sometimes it's like it could be like the recipe for people's greatness, because all of those experiences
Yeah.
that, you know, you had leading up and to that point, that I find like similar situations, like, you know, I've been going down this Steph Curry rabbit hole looking at his story, and guys similar to
Yeah.
that.
I listened to that podcast too. With the last one you was talking about that Steph Curry too. I love that. The
Yeah,
shots and everything.
yeah, because it's just like, yo, these dudes, like, you know. And another person I was listening to as well was like Kyrie Irving on the different podcasts that they was on, and we all have like humble, similar beginnings, where they went out and tried something and they was trash. But then as you get on,
Yeah.
yeah, for real, people get short-term memory loss, man. And I know, like, for you, you probably get that all the time, where people,
Oh,
it's just
dog.
like, yo, y'all know I wasn't always this person, but now it's
Mhm.
just like all of a sudden, you know, y'all
Yeah.
treat me as if I always want to be treated, but it's in the back end, it's like, yo, I didn't forget when I had the build to get to this, and I didn't forget how y'all felt about me while I was going after and getting to it
Oh,
still.
what?
You know what I'm
What,
saying?
bro? Don't get me started on. Bro. I tell you what, because look, this is the thing. This is me and my bro Malik. We were talking about this all the time, bro. How fake social media is and how fake people are on there. And so, me understanding that, I kind of try to use it to my advantage as far as with marketing and getting people attention and pulling things and people to gravitate towards what I'm doing, right? But the people bro, 80% of the fucking people that said congratulations to me about the Yonah stuff, whatever, these are the same people who didn't respond when I was asking for them to buy a $10 to $15 shirt in their DMs. These are the same people saying we're proud of you, congratulations. Bro, you didn't even respond when I said that shit. You didn't even say I'm going through a hard time, which is understandable, bro. People go through some stuff. I've been through some stuff too. I understand $10 to $15 sometimes. If you're really going through it, can be a stretch. But you didn't even respond. But these are the same people telling you, like I ran into somebody yesterday, was like, oh bro, I seen that, bro. That was super dope. But this is the same person that was trying to argue with me on social media about the dumbest shit. I don't even remember what it was, but it was some, I forgot exactly what it was, but it was so stupid. But this is the same person 2 years ago that was talking shit to me on social media, this and that. But you're the same person 2 years now. I see yesterday, you're like, oh, bro, I'm proud of you, bro. That was super dope. I was like, yeah, that's what's up. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, dog. Get out of here, dog. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really do that type of stuff. But I'm like, oh man, I appreciate it. It's all love at the end of the day. But man, that
Oh,
shit is,
yo, that's crazy,
come
because
on now.
I catch those similar vibes, man. I catch those similar vibes, and I respond the same way. It's just like, yo, thank you, I appreciate it all, but You know what I'm saying? It's always one of
Yeah,
those, you know what I
facts.
mean? Always
Yeah,
one of
like
those.
yeah,
And
always.
even for me, like just like for me with basketball, man, and when I say I used to get clowned on all the time, oh my God. Laughs, jokes always coming in left and right. You suck, you trash this and that. And now it's just like it's always nothing but praise. And then yeah, of course, here and there it's like, yeah, you trash. But it
Hmm.
for me, at first, it was like, I had a hard time accepting that, knowing that, it was a part of me that just couldn't let things go. Still to this day, I'm still like that. You know what I mean?
No, fact. Hmm.
But then after that, like the biggest thing that I want to say, another thing that I've been realizing is just character growth and character evolution. You know what I mean? And how over time you may not forget, but other people genuinely forget and they see you for what you are
Yeah,
now and they just be like,
that's fact.
yo, you know what I mean? But it's just like,
Come on now.
I want to see if you really committed. Yeah, thank you for the congratulations, but do you really care? Do you really, really
No,
care?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's just like for me, it's like the biggest thing, man. And social media literally cooks those situations up left and right. And that's another reason why I guess I'm not too fond of it because it definitely creates a lot of fake love. You know what I mean?
Man, it does, dog. It does. And I'm like, it's one of those things. It's like you always gotta see the good. You know what I'm saying? You gotta utilize it for what it is and understand it. Cause like when you understand how a system works, you can kind of play. You can play the game to break the rules. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know the law to break the law to an extent
Yeah,
too.
word.
You know what I'm saying? Like at least get away with it.
Yeah, bars.
But so and so it's like you gotta understand how the fucking social media world works. And so I'm starting to understand that more. So I really don't take it too serious. Like, and I'm glad I'm humble enough to even have that type of mindset, Because I understand, bro, it's like this shit just it's a hard little world. It's like a fake world, and man,
Yeah, man,
it's a
that's why
lot,
I can't really tune into it, that much. And like
Yeah.
even, people necessarily their lives is based off of what's trending and like,
Yes.
FOMO and not wanting to be the person that's left out of the loop. And
Dog.
I'm the type of person that I really don't care about what's really going on, to a
Hmm.
certain extent, and that can be bad, but at the same time, I believe that it's a good thing because I can easily disconnect and connect with myself or connect with what's going on around me and tap into really what matters instead of what I notice is even when I'm talking to the people, you know, they tend to their values and everything in person is coming from a social media standpoint where they
Oh
don't
my
really know
God.
authentically who they are. It's hard
Oh
to
man.
you feel me? Like it's hard to have
Oh
like
man.
a
I feel you,
conversation.
dog.
It's like one of those things. This is a perfect
Hmm.
analogy, right? People social media creates long lasting small talk. So it's a bunch of things that people could talk forever about stuff that don't matter, but they can't handle situations or a conversation that matters, especially when it's pertaining to them and real life situations that they go through. And you often hear like, I don't care. I didn't really think about it. And they're trying to like dead it. But for me, I think that it comes across as lack of interest, but it's more so fear that they just suppressed and
Yes.
trying to tune out and don't ever want to
Yeah.
think about because it's too scary
Hmm.
to wrap their mind around. It's
Exactly.
something that, you know,
Hmm.
I sense in conversations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that makes me not want to have
100%.
a conversation to begin with.
Conversation. Yes. And the thing is like, bro, I'm to the point now because I used to think like people are like, why you talk so? Why are you so deep? Why are you so deep? It's like, bro, I don't even want to talk to you about like I don't even want to talk to you about stupid shit like you be trying to talk about, bro. Like it's stupid. Like I want to talk about something like obviously like when it's like when people are expressing their emotions and everything like that, that's different, right? But it's like you can really tell, bro, people is just so sucked in to social media, they see what they see on this, whether it's news or like back then it might have been newspapers, right? But now and then it was
Yeah.
like two or three channels. Now it's like social media, like their favorite person on their favorite influencer says uh this and that. So now they're a big believer in this, and now they believe that. And it's like, bro, you don't even think for yourself. You don't even know who you are because you're so consumed in this outer world and outer sources, And so it's like it doesn't even. It's stupid, bro. It really is. And people got to
It
understand is
is.
like we're programmed. We're really programmed to a certain level to where you're so programmed to a level that you don't even understand that you're programmed. And so when it comes to, like you said, even like talking about certain things or even self-reflection, you go like this. You have so much resistance towards it because you're afraid to even dive into it. There's too much. You feel like it's too much for you to comprehend. And one thing you made me think about, bro, as far as our communication, right? I feel like social media and phones, they gave, and I'm guilty of this too. Now that I'm not really self-reflected on the 3 or 4 weeks ago, is that we kind of gave social media and like phones give people the opportunity to not face their issues as far as with other people with communicating, whether it's
Mm,
business, relationships, or just in general of even how they feel. Because people can easily, you could be talking to somebody easily and they could be like, okay, I'm blocking them, I'm done talking to them. Or they'll be like, hey, I want to be done talking to you. You know what I'm saying? They
wow.
just don't have to talk to you at all, right? But they're like, okay, why do you want to be done? Oh, well, I just got to do this and that. They don't even. People would rather block you, never talk to you again, as far as social media or phones, rather than communicate and get to really try to figure out a solution. Whether it's uh, if we do have to disconnect and move on, or whatever the case is, they're so connected and consumed in, okay, this is my communication base rather than face-to-face interaction or facing the issue. They can easily be like, okay, I'm done talking to you. All I got to do is block you and block you on social media. Now I get to forget about you. You was never connected to me. You was connected to your phone and your idea of who I
Mm,
am. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So it's like it
profound,
gives,
man.
and so it's like people, it gives everybody a scapegoat to be like, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? That's why, and they wonder why they don't have long-lasting friendships, long-lasting relationships, because you never connected with them.
Yeah.
It was all cell phone. You didn't call them. You probably didn't FaceTime them often. It was all through your little phone, and you didn't spend time or quality time with them. Why do you think you're getting dumped fast or whatever? Like you never got the true connection. You know what I'm saying? You never got the true connection with them through person to person. That's why I like talking to people. I like really connecting with people. I don't like the texting all day and shit like that. Call me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's
I
FaceTime.
can't
Let's really
I
talk.
can't do that, man. I can't hold that conversation up for long. Like I'm the same
Bro.
way. And it's
It's it's
also
it's man.
it's also crazy, man. Even with that being said, you also made me think about something. It's just that it's no real consequence to putting your opinion out there on social media. A lot of people are bold, you know what I mean?
Man.
When it comes to that standpoint, they say and put up a lot of things that they would not be doing in person. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
they got this
Facts.
shield, you know what I mean, that it's not,
Mm-hmm.
they know it's not real, you know what I mean? But they can present
Yeah.
this facade out there, or even, you know, that we seeing nowadays. Like I can't imagine going to high school or middle school around this time, you know what I mean? And the amount of comments and posts and, you know, this type of stuff that, you know, it's serious. Like these kids is out here like suicidal and killing themselves based off of these aspects, you know, that's
Yeah.
they really like really perceiving these things as real. And it's two things that
Mm-hmm.
like make me like understand that, you know, things is never going to go back to what it was. And another thing is that this is what our new reality is. And
Bars.
I-
I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but that's heavy. That's gems. That's
you're
fact.
gonna have me saying bars now. I ain't even gonna hold you. But it's crazy that I believe that these kids nowadays, since they are the future, they are the next generation, how can they positively use this to not put another kid down? And a lot of these kids don't
Yes.
even deserve it. They getting picked on because
Yes.
that's simply the cool thing to do. It's cool to pick on this kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
how can they use it, you know, constructively Because this is something that I feel as though we was at the beta of all of this, you know what I mean, when we were growing up and not
Facts.
really
Facts.
experiencing it for what it is. So immersive now.
Yeah.
And it's like it is these
Hmm.
kids' lives. Like you walk around and they like you
Yes.
got 8-year-olds with like TikToks and stuff like that, which is like crazy. Like, you know what I
Dog,
mean?
it's crazy. Like my sister, she's 8. She has a TikTok. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
same.
And
My
so
brother 8,
you,
he got a
you
TikTok.
oh, it's crazy. But you know what you made me think of too is so I had a conversation with, and this kind of made me think like, and I've been thinking about it lately. So is so I when I was at my college this past Friday, I seen one of my old professors, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, Dr. Olson?" Like, just said what's up to her and was talking to her, and like, she was like super excited to see me and stuff. But we was just talking, and she was like, "You know what's crazy is the kids aren't the same like you guys when you was here, and this is 4 years. Like I had her class 4 years ago. That's not 3 or 4 years ago. That's not
It's
that
not that
long."
long.
And so
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah." So she's like, "The thing is like these kids are so connected in their phones, they don't even create a relationship with me. Like they would just say hi and just walk past. They would never stop and talk to me like you're talking to me now." And I was thinking, I was like, I remember you used to make us put our phones away. We did interactive activities, like we were all hanging out. It was like fun to be in class, and this was college, but it was like we was all connected. And like I was we would always interact with her, are so they were born, like you said, we was at the beta, we was at the beginning. Like I remember Wi-Fi first came out. I was so confused, like, what? You don't have to
Yeah.
connect it to the
The
Ethernet?
Ethernet.
Like, this is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, you don't gotta use it. And then I remember first time I seen a laptop, bro, I was tripping. It's like you can download music, LimeWire. This is crazy, dog.
Oh, I destroyed mad computers with LimeWire. Yeah.
LimeWire used to fuck people's computers up, but dog. But it's like
That's the only way to get
you
Soldier
can
Boy and that
download music.
Tupac and Biggie. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man, what? For real. For real. But it's like they were no facts, dog. I used to get all the music on here. I used to, man, dog. Those are the days, dog. Those are the days. And like
Facts.
this is thing, this is one thing too, is I remember, bro, this like that's why I feel like we're blessed, like the 90s babies, like the late 90s babies, like that 96 to 2000 area right there, 2001. We're so lucky to be able to experience it a little more, like the last part of that. Because
Oh
I
yeah.
remember I used to get a girl's number and I have to remember it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'd have to
word.
remember it all the way home. Like didn't write it. I don't know. I didn't write it down, but I have to remember her number. Like, oh, bro, what
That
is it?
and
So
put it
then you
in the
got,
home phone.
yeah, bro, bro. And so shout
Moms
out
could
to
tap into the
bro,
conversation. You know what I mean? Just
for
hear what
real,
y'all talking
for
about.
real, man. Come on now, like for real. Be tapped in, like beep 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 beep. Beep. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear the little thing, like hoping she answer, and then her mom answer you like,
Yo, could
"Hey,
you
I'm
put such and such on the phone?
yeah, keep put such on them. Who are you? I'm you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, like little stuff like that. Like it's crazy, dog.
Yo, you
It's
just definitely sent me down memory lane, man. Now you making me feel mad at old, yo. Oh man, that's crazy.
yeah, dog. It's so crazy, bro. Like so, it's like that's one of those things. Is like we're so disconnected, like as far as communication in it. And sometimes I really have to catch myself to chill. Like when you get a chance, bro, next time you're driving on the highway, and it's gonna trip you out. Next time you're driving on the highway, just look and see how much people you see on their phones.
That's actually a trip. It's kind of weird that you say that. I find myself looking at what people are doing when they're driving like all the time. You know what I mean? And a decent amount of them are literally on their phones. They're sitting
Like
there.
on their phone, like not even,
They're
not even
they're in that joint. Yeah.
looking up, like on their phone, bro. I'm like, on and chill. Like, me set my phone down. It's trippy, bro. But it's like we're so absorbed, and it's a part of our life now. We have to understand that, right? But it's like, okay, how do we go about ways to like teach this next generation of how to disconnect from this type of world? Because I need, it's like I need my phone, but I literally want to just don't even be on it for 2 weeks. Just take a whole break from it, bro. Like, just be done with my phone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm literally the type of person,
Like,
man.
not talk to anybody,
There was stretches for me, I want to say like 3 years ago when I got like that a couple times where I literally did not contact anybody on my phone, talk to anybody, and I just used it to, watch film or watch things that's very pertaining. And then I got in the habits of doing that more and more. But it's just weird. I say from 2018 up until now, I started practicing a lot of things that allowed me to disconnect, which is something that I deeply felt like I needed because I was too involved in, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, like, and felt like it kept getting me in trouble. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
how can I be disciplined enough to do it? And I figured like it's a pattern with me that I have to be wholeheartedly with something in order to do something. If I'm kind of like on the fence with it, I can't stick with it long enough to be wholeheartedly
Yeah.
with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to
Yeah.
eventually just stop, So it's like it gets a point with me. I deeply got to be moved by
Mm-hmm.
something for me to be like, okay, this is it.
No, facts, bro. I feel that. And then it's I feel like too, it's like one of those things when you love something hard or you're really love hard or you feel for things really hard, it's like it can make it tough for you to be like halfway into stuff. 'Cause you feel like you're cheating yourself.
Absolutely. And I know with you being a personal trainer, you probably experiencing that all the time where you have to find different ways to feel like you're not cheating yourself, even when you most likely aren't cheating yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that
Mm-hmm.
mental edge that
Exactly.
you probably carry.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
facts, bro.
I feel as though that is the most challenging thing to literally do as a human being is to constantly go on that quest and accept that journey every single day. And that's something that that you do. And that's something that I got nothing but huge respect and appreciation for because like the work that you do, like it seriously matters, and it matters to the people like around you. And it's a great thing knowing that you're not going to stop, no time soon. You feel me? That's a great thing, man. So, tell the people how they can find you and reach out to you.
All right, so if you want to reach out to me, man, tap it in my Instagram my Instagram is Blaise Training, so BLAISC Training, and then you can add me on Facebook, MIKAL Settle, so Michael Settle on Facebook, and then yeah, man, just tap in either one of those ways, or yeah, just DM me or directly message me, and then yeah, we can kind of tune in and whatever, man. You want to be on the journey, just be inspired, or you wanted some personal training, or you want to support the merch, you know what I'm saying? Just tap in. But yeah, just either way, never settle.
And thank you, man, for being on the podcast, man. This is probably going to be the longest podcast in Purpose Served history. And this is
Yeah.
literally
Hey.
this is one of the best ones that I recorded, man, since this podcast started, man. So for that, like I really, really appreciate it. And not only that, we'll be putting all of his description down below. And also, I will be putting in the promo code for his website, Purpose Served, which is awesome. And I really
Hmm.
do even thank you for allowing me to be a brand ambassador. And I probably said it a billion times so far this week, man. But I really, really appreciate the opportunity, man. And this is only the beginning, man. And I'm really, really proud of, how far you come in a short amount of time that I even met you, and how far you even expanded. It's incredible, dog. Like
Yeah.
for real, man. It's almost
Hmm.
been a year. And look at how much you've done since last year, man. It's insane.
Dog, that's yeah, it's the same, man. It's just, you know, having people that loving people around you, bro. I feel like is the key though. You know, loving people and then just grinding.
Absolutely, man. And you dropped some gems on this joint, man. So I really do appreciate it, man. As for everybody that's listening, I love y'all as per usual, man. You guys stay up and serve your purpose. Last but not least, deuces.
Peace, y'all.
Yo.